So Minecraft 1.9 was a very controversial update for one specific reason, and it was combat. But there is a big, massive combat change coming to the game, and I tell you what, this is something that you guys don't want to miss. Down below in the description, there's a link. Let's go ahead and get started. So coming over here, we resolved the issues that Minecraft Java 1.9 anti-players hated the most. And the reason why I say anti-players is because those players really ate 1.9 quite a bit. So coming over here, we have resolved it was too slow for PvP, damage per second is too low to beat region items, and it was hard for new players to understand. Now, good news, PvP is much faster now. And now you can go ahead and have attacks happen when you're fully charged, even if you spam. And plus it says that you can ult to attack. And so, before this update, you did actually have to wait for the charging bar on your crosshair to go ahead and fill up before you could attack again. So it was basically like this, but you did actually have yourself a sweeping attack. But actually, there's one cool thing that they've done. They've actually gotten rid of that, and instead, it is only exclusive to the sweeping edge enchantment. So as you guys can see, I can go ahead and just wait for it to fill up, and as long as you're not breaking like any blocks, you're gonna get yourself that nice swipe attack right there, which is pretty cool. It looks like sometimes it's like a lighter color than it is sometimes, but as you can see, it's sometimes white, sometimes gray. But it is still a really nice change that they did for this update. But anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of my sword right there. And another change that they've done is that if you go ahead and hold down the button to attack, you're gonna be able to go ahead and keep on doing this. Now, before this update, you actually did not have the ability to do this. Of course, in 1.8, it was like this, but not in 1.9. They ended up changing this to where you did have to wait for that to actually just fill up before you could just do it again. Or if you spammed, then you would end up losing damage over that because it actually would not be filling all the way up to do that massive strike. But anyway, coming over here, we have ourselves weapons of different ranges. So within my hotbar, I have all the different ranges. So if you have yourself any other item aside from a sword, a hoe, or a trident, you're going to be 3 blocks away from where the mob is going to be. So the mob is going to be right there. If you're standing about 1, 2, and 3, I go ahead and spawn in our husk. He's not going to move, which is good for us. But as you can see, I can go ahead and attack him just like this. Now we can still use the other weapons like sword, hoe, and trident, but these have a range of 4, so you can be a little bit further away if you want to. So as you can see, we can just go ahead and do this right there, and we're going to be able to attack him just fine. But underneath all the different weapons inside the data, it's going to go ahead and tell you about how far it can reach. A sword is going to be 3.5, a hoe is going to be 4, a trident is going to be 4, and then any other item is going to be 3. So there you guys go. So coming all the way over here, we have ourselves the sweeping only works sweeping edge. I mentioned this earlier. The attack timer will continue charging to 200 when you're not attacking. So if we're not attacking, then the charging bar is just going to go and fill up just like that. And according to them, critical attacks will only happen with this charging bar. And so if I go ahead and show you guys, I'm going to go ahead and use my fist real quick. I'm going to go ahead and get him. As you guys can see, we're not getting ourselves any critical attacks. But the moment we go ahead and wait for that to actually fill up, we can now go ahead and get ourselves critical attacks. And also, same thing applies for sweeping edge. So if I have myself the sweeping edge, you do actually have to wait for that to actually fill up, as I mentioned earlier. And so, yep, there we go. We're waiting, and we're waiting. So that's pretty great for that type of stuff. But sweeping edge is only useful if you want to attack multiple mobs at the same time. So like if I go and spawn a whole bunch of these different mobs. Oh, I did not mean to do that. I need to be in creative mode. No, I try that again. This time in creative mode, where I did not want to be in survival mode. Okay, there he goes. So if I go and spawn a whole bunch of mobs again, we all know that sweeping edge is useful for getting rid of multiple mobs all together, and it's pretty awesome stuff right there. So we can go ahead and get rid of these different husks right there, about 3 husks, or 4, or how many that we have in our mob grinder. But anyway, we're just going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. It's all about shields. So shields, you can now go ahead and crouch activate them if they're in your offhand slot, not your main slot. So if I go and press F on our keyboard or whatever you have it bind to, as you can see, we have ourselves our shield inside of our hand. Now we can still right click, so that's one thing that we can still do. But if you do right click, you're not going to be able to attack with your sword just like before. But if you go ahead and cross activate it, you can go ahead and use your different attacks, which is really awesome stuff right here. And it's going to be very useful if you're fighting up a whole bunch of different mobs. This is something that people absolutely wanted to see within the game. Of course, Bedrock, it got it first, so we kind of felt like Java was going to get it next. And we were right. So anyway, for the critical attacks, they will now bypass the shield. So if somebody's doing a critical attack on you and you have a shield up on hand and you're activating it, then the shield is not going to protect you. It's just going to bypass it, and vice versa. If you're attacking a player with a shield and they're activating it, it's just not going to defend them. And before we go, there is one more thing I want to go ahead and tell you guys about. It's going to be the issues with combat on the Bedrock Edition. And so hopefully these will be fixed whenever combat does end up changing for the Bedrock Edition. But as you can see, it says tedious on controller. The Legacy Editions fixed this. The Legacy Edition is Forge Studios version of Minecraft, which is the console edition, not Bedrock. So bear that in mind. But then we ourselves, weapons are very similar, which is very true, and armor is not balanced. So that is actually it for all the things that are going on within the snapshot. So go ahead and let me know what you think of this down below in the comments. Are you excited for the future of combat? And do you think that combat is going to be so much better from here on out? And if you're somebody that hated 1.9, do you think that this will go ahead and bring you back to the game? Because I think that many players out there is going to go ahead and come back to this game because of the new combat changes. Because after all, you all asked for the new combat update, now didn't ya? By the way, link down below yet again, and I will catch you.